Okay, here we are with Hot Toys Batman WB100, which is the 100th anniversary of Warner Brothers. So they're releasing this limited edition Batman that has the gray and blue colors on it from the comic book. The box itself, I like it. It's a little too big for my liking, but I like how you could see the city landscape of Gotham on the back, and in the front has this kind of interesting fragmented kaleidoscope of colors. And overall, it's a nice box, but again, I just feel like it takes up too much room. Here's a great head-to-toe view of the suit. I'm sorry about the off-centered belt, it's driving me crazy now that I've seen it. But they're using the old Batman cartoon colors, which is that blue mixed with gray, and they're using the Dark Knight Rises suit, which for some people that is their favorite suit. Again, this was inspired for the 100th anniversary of Warner Brothers to basically utilize those old gray and blue colors from the comic here. And here's another shot of it right here, just so you can get an idea. Which is one of my favorite suits. It's probably 1A and 1B for me between that and the 1989 Batman suit. But overall, I think they did a great job with the color scheme. I just gotta say wow when it comes to this head sculpt, because when you see it in person, it is so shiny. Now granted, Batman from any of the Christopher Nolan films, his head is never shiny, but for some reason it works with this figure. When you put it up on your shelf, it really stands out. And it's not only like the shiny blue head, but it's also the gold belt. There's just a great color combination going on there. And then also the display is very big, but it has a great shelf presence and the head is awesome. So articulation-wise, it's very limited. You can't laterally move the arms up to shoulder height. The elbows move pretty freely. But the big problem here are the legs. Now if you look here, I can barely get the leg up. This is as far as the leg moves up at the knee, which is the worst I've seen for any figure. And if you want to spread the legs apart to do like a really cool Batman pose, that's as far as you could go before it starts feeling like it's going to tear. The other issue is the head sculpts go on very easily, but there are grooves in the neck that stop you from being able to turn the head too far to the left or right, because it blocks the head from locking in. So you get this really loose Batman head sculpt.
What's in the box?
So in the box, you're going to get 2 closed fists. You're going to get 2 hands so that you can hold a gun. He comes with 3 of them, essentially. You get a relaxed hand, and then you get a hand to hold batarangs. 2 little grenades or sticky bombs. 3 of the gold batarangs. And then you get a grapnel gun, which is honestly my favorite. Then you get this transformable sticky bomb gun. This EMP gun, which actually is broken for me. It doesn't light up like it should. These bats that get connected to the stands, which are basically made out of paper mache. They're so sensitive, so be careful when you take them out of the box. So for the stands, you're going to have this base part. This is just one part of it. It expands up into a much bigger stand, but this is the base part that has this metal Batman symbol in the front, and then you got that kind of splattered Batman symbol on the top of it. It's supposed to kind of resemble, I guess, like a metal grate of some sort. There's other things that I have a problem with, but it looks pretty cool. And then on the back, you're going to have the little clamp where you can insert the 2 clear poles. Now here's a look at the entire stands with all the accessories connected to it. You have the crotch grabber in the front, and then you have the 2 bats that connect to it, and then you have the circular Batman emblem over this bluish night sky with bats on it. You can kind of see as this spins around, which spins very smoothly, the bats are bouncing around and the little emblem bounces around. It is, for lack of a better word, pretty frail. So when you take those bats out of the box, be very careful, and when you put them on the stands, be very, very careful. I personally broke one of them taking it out of the box, so here's a closer look. at the bats themselves. They're actually really cool looking, and I think it's a great design. You just got to make sure that you get them on there in the perfect manner. And then here's the sign, which is kind of cool looking from a distance, but there's some issues with it. So the head sculpt is definitely the high point for me. I love the glossy, shiny blue. It has a great presence on the shelf. And one of the great things about this head sculpt is that it comes with 4 face plates. So the top 2 are my favorite, which is like the relaxed one, and then you have like the kind of snarl, like angry version. And then the bottom 2, I find kind of goofy, but still, hey, you're getting 4 face plates, which is kind of like having 4 separate head sculpts in a way. And I think that's really a great deal, and they're very easy to get on and off. So with that said, I really think that the head sculpt is the best part of this figure altogether. So starting with the bat symbol, which I said looks cool from a distance, I really dislike it with everything in me because all it is a piece of round plastic, and then they put a piece of cardboard inside of it.
And I've got to say, in all honesty, it's the biggest piece of dog shit.
I feel like they could have done so much more with that. And also, it weighs nothing, so it's constantly shaking. If, like, someone walks in the room, the whole base shakes. Like, and the same problem with the bats. It doesn't weigh anything. The whole thing is just always off kilter and always shaking. It's the worst. So I don't have any major problems with this cape, other than the fact that I feel like all capes should be wired at this point, especially when it's someone like Batman. Like, you should be able to put the cape in any direction and have it stay in that position. I'm so utterly frustrated with Hot Toys on this figure because none of these poses and these official images can be logistically done on the figure. You would tear the suit.
Why?
It doesn't really make me think of Batman. It makes me think of like the masculine like power fantasy of Batman. It's not really super fun. It's just sort of, it's more man than Batman.
It's Man-Man.
It's Man-Man, pretty much. Yeah, it's just trying too hard, and it would never make it into the living room. I give it a 4.
4 out of 10.
Yeah.
4.5 points off of making the cut.
Yeah, yeah. Like, it's fine, like, it's cool, but no.
So for me, I'm a sucker for the gray and blue batsuit, as I said before. I think it looks really cool. I don't think I would have done it with Christian Bale's Batman suit. I probably would have done it with like the Arkham Knight suit or something of that nature. But even though the suit looks cool and the head sculpt is nice, minus the articulation issues with the head sculpt and just the figure in general, I think they really missed out on a lot of opportunity here, especially for a figure that is a 100th anniversary with limited quantities. Like, this gun here just didn't even work for me. It's broken. And that's not a mass issue, I would think, but still, that's just like another annoyance. You got the flimsy stands. You have the atrocious articulation. You have the cape that should be wired. There's just so many little things, and for me, it's like, if you're gonna have, I don't know what the total number is, let's just say a few thousand figures, I'd have to look that up, for something that's a special edition, I feel like you have to go all out, especially if it's really hard for people to get and then people spend a lot of money in the aftermarket. I just can't recommend this figure, personally. What's my final score? 6.0 bats in the belfry out of 10.